Meantime, the quarter mark review, Rosie, I can't believe it. They're at the 20-game mark of 82 in this regular season. Time is flying. To put things into perspective, Toronto 10-5-5. That's 102.5 point pace. Last season at this time, they were 13-6-1. And of course, they finished with a franchise record, 115 points last season. The PP 6, the PK's 18th. Goals for 2.95, tied for 20th, and the goals against, they're 8th in the league, which is pretty impressive. They're second in the Atlantic right now behind Boston, a 9-point gap there. The Bruins just don't lose. Your overall assessment through 20 games of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Rosie?
You just got to wrap it up and say it's positive. I mean, it's very positive.
Yeah.
They're a good team. All the numbers show that. They don't have anything that's hardly past the halfway point, and they got some front running numbers there. I really like that goals against at 8th. That's top 10 in the NHL for goals against, which has always been kind of their Achilles heel, whether it's been defense or defending or turnovers or goaltending. So I really think that they have had a solid first quarter to the season. And like I said earlier, they haven't even had a chance to put their full lineup together. You get these two goalies going back to back. I saw Matthews tweet on his numbers 5-on-5, and they're abysmal compared to what he's used to. And, that's only going to be a matter of time before that fires up. And, you get some health, you get some guys back on D, you mix some things around. All of a sudden, these guys are capable of going on 10-game winning streak and whatnot. And if they don't, it doesn't matter. It's just putting the blocks together to figure out who this team is and how it's running, as smoothly as possible. And they've been doing that. They've been moving things around and finding things. So I got nothing but positive things to say. If you're a fan of any other team in the NHL and you look at all that, what are you saying? Unless you're like a front runner, like prediction to win the Stanley Cup, what else do you want? Like, yeah, we're rolling. We're winning lots of games. We got some injury trouble. Are we perfect? No, we're constantly working and changing to fix things. But I just give it, a thumbs up, positive start to the season, and let's keep doing better and keep getting better and better every game until we're just a main machine coming April. That's the goal, right?
I echo those sentiments completely. I think it's been a pretty decent November, all things considered, considering the way they started in October. Having said that, I just don't put much stock in the regular season. You know this, working with me through about 30 shows now, that I think this is a foregone conclusion. They're going to get to the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's more so what they do in the playoffs. But you want progress, you want build. I thought they looked really good last night. And I thought all four lines offered something a bit different. I think they're really, we've talked quite a bit about identity throughout this season. I think the Leafs are starting to get that, I should say, especially in the bottom six. Like, I've really been impressed by the third line, the fourth line. I thought Engvall was going last night. Aston Reese has been providing. Like, I think they have to feel really, really good with what they put together the last little while in terms of the bottom six here.
Yeah, I think so too. It's good to see. It's, some guys are, I think they've kind of gotten in trouble just by just trying to put the best quote unquote hockey player they can on all four lines and go out and do the exact same bloody thing. And, that's frustrating because that just does not work, right? The game doesn't work that way. And I mean, that's why, you put together all-star teams that don't get anything done because it's not an all-star game out there. It's NHL, and you need that depth and you need that difference at experience levels, and the goals that you're trying to accomplish as a line is not always necessarily the same, right? And coaches will put out strategic lines based on the situation, the momentum in the game, and what's happening and what we need. And I agree with you, though, that the bottom six is, especially like the fourth liner. Like, I'm starting to see Zach Aston Reese a lot more doing positive things, and it comes from like a high level of effort and energy. He always seems to be kind of like a workhorse lately. Camp obviously really solid, and I like Malgin there on the fourth line because he's a guy who may not even have been on the roster. He might have been on the Marlies for the most part, but he also kind of showed that he's able to play in this league. He's got the skill and the ability to play in the NHL, and he should be here. So I think his best way is to mold himself into that bottom six player and show hey, do you want a really good bottom six guy, which I can be? Is he going to be a second line player? No, he's just not quite there, and they got too many guys to fill those holes. So go down a line, bring what you already have that makes you even questionable for the top couple lines, but bring all that fourth line shit, that energy, that defense, blocking shots, be a workhorse, work with those other two guys to just be this wall that, you can put out there at certain times and just fucking change games and dominate and, chip in with a goal here or there. He's got the skill to do that. And then, make big plays on the other end, bang and crash a little bit. I don't care how big you are, man. No one likes to get hit in this league anymore. Run guys through the fucking wall and then get off and see the backlash you get from other crowds and stuff. It's beautiful, man. Just play that role hard and understand what you're doing and play it. And it's very useful. And they're starting to do that, which is awesome.
What's your grade level then, Professor
On them,
Rosehill?
on the whole
No,
team.
just on the team. 20 game mark, your grade level.
Good question. Good question. I would say my grade level is a B plus. A B
Okay.
plus.
Okay.
They're not in the A area. They had too ugly of an October. And I don't think you're capable of playing like A hockey when you don't even have your roster, when your goalies have been hurt all year long. And I think that to have that B plus ranking and to be where they are with the numbers we just showed up, we have our fourth string goalie in right now. Can you tell me a team who's got their fourth string goalie in for as long as Shalgren has had to play? And he's done well, but he's still the fourth string goalie.
Yeah.
Give me another
Yeah.
organization that can do that and be sitting where the Leafs are right now with the shit that they've had to go through. We just assume, they should be winning every single game always. Well, it's like no one can do that, man. It's impossible. I think they've been done phenomenal for what they've had so far in the first quarter.
I should preface by saying I'm a tough marker, but it's a B minus for me. And I hate to say, I think it's the same team, dude. And the proof will be in the pudding come the springtime. I hope they prove otherwise, but I do think it's the same team. We see this episode every season. They have terrible October. They find their way in November. They pump 105, 115 points, and then, they lose in the first round. So until I see that, I'm going to have the same mark probably.
But you're fighting against the ghosts of Maple Leaf past because of everything you've
We're
seen
living
and
in
done.
the present. I get it. Thank you, Mr.
I
Therapy
hope you're
over
wrong,
here.
buddy. I hope you're wrong.
I just been through this car crash way too many times. But again, I love your optimism. I hope this year is different. But again, anybody watching and listening has seen this episode before. But I digress.